Guys, do you have any questions regarding yesterday's session?
No, Venkat.
Okay, good. Go ahead. So yesterday we discussed about Anypoint Studio and what about the web services concept. So what was the means of advantages compared to other ESBs? So what is meant by ESBs? So if there is no web services, how earlier people was using web services before web services? What was the uh, I mean how technologies will integrated. So without web services, we discussed about that. And hope you guys are clear. So what are the options in this Anypoint Studio? So in this actually main thing is palette is important. So in the palette we have all the components, transformers, scopes. So we have different categories are there actually. So when palette will open, so after creating the project only, so palette will open actually. So this is a palette. So see this, whenever you are trying to you are trying to create a project. So with the configuration XML that time only, so you can able to see this palette actually. So I will show you how to create the project in this. So before that, so how to set up this, Anypoint Studio here. So for that, just try to search for Google, so Anypoint Studio for MuleSoft.com. So it will ask sign up actually. So you have to sign up that. So you have to give your contact details and all. So see this is a link here, Anypoint Studio, single graphical design environment for Anypoint platform. So means, so we can see the graphical view actually. So yesterday I was showing three types of views. So one is graphical, another one is XML, another one is in the form of form of that global elements actually, middle one. So three I was explained clearly. First one is we can able to see the graphical view actually. So means a designing view, you can see when you drag and drop, you will get a symbols. Each and every message processor, you can say here in the palette. So whatever the palette contains that components, what we call message process actually. So that message process is the combination of message processor is nothing but a flow. So is the combination of message process is nothing but a flow. So we have a three types of flows actually. So one is main flow. So another one is private flow. Another one is subflow. Okay, so we'll discuss later that flows. So this is the way to download the Anypoint Studio. So latest version is 3.6. So we can check the version in here under help Anypoint Studio. So here we can check the version of that. So sorry, 6.2.1 is the latest one. Okay, you can check the version there. So further, so we need to download it actually. So here we have to fill the information. You have to give proper mobile number, proper email address, then your company. You can give other details as a dummy details, but you have to give proper mobile number, proper email ID, email ID. Remaining you can give as you wish. So then you have to download it. Once you download it, so you got the zip file. I will show you that. It's like a Eclipse only. So what we'll do, we'll download the Eclipse. You can unzip it, right? So we'll get the zip file actually. So like this we'll get it. So if based on your operating system, either it is a 32-bit operating system or a 64-bit operating system, or else Windows, Linux. Based on that, we have to download that Anypoint Studio. So once you download it in the local, so that is nothing but a zip content. So we have to unzip it. So use anyone. So either unzip WinZip software, or else you can use 7-zip software. You can install it. Okay, so you can extract that one. So once you extract it, we'll get like this. Anypoint Studio for Windows 64-bit. So in this, so there is a shortcut we'll get like this. Anypoint Studio. So before Anypoint Studio installation, so we can't say it's an installation. We just download it. We can unzip it. That's it. Okay. Next one is, before doing this, we have to install the Java. That too, MuleSoft supports more than 1.7, or it's equal to 1.7 only it will support. So we have to install 1.8 or else 1.7. In 1.8 also we have multiple versions, right? Any version you can so install it. So first we have to install the Java, then set the class path. So then after that we can download the Anypoint Studio. You can you can start it actually. So whatever the shortcut is there, no? Just double click on the shortcut, so it will automatically open. It will come like this. So MuleSoft logo, Anypoint Studio, then it will ask the workspace. So coming to workspace means it will ask particular space to store your all the projects, whatever the projects you are going to create in the Anypoint Studio. It need particular location to store all the projects actually. So that is nothing but a workspace. Okay, we have to give some workspace, or else it will give by default. So in your C drive users with your name, by default it will get. If you are okay with that, then you can give it, or else you can create some particular folder, then you can show that particular folder using this browse option. Is it clear? So that is a way to start the Anypoint Studio and create the workspace. We have to download this first one. So then this is a trial version, 30 days period. So no worry, actually after that 30 days, what we'll do, just remove that unzipped content. Once again unzip it. We can work as it is actually. There is no restriction. Okay, but after 30 days I was facing sometimes debug mode is not working, so such type of problems will get. So then that time what happened, just we remove the unzipped content. So there is an unzipped content right here, just remove that unzipped content, then once again unzip it, so with from zip content, so it will work as it is. Okay, so first step is, so how to set up this environment, how to set up this Anypoint Studio. That is the way. So we have to just Google it. So we have to sign up it, just click download it. It will ask three versions, either Linux or else something like Windows, or else some other operating system. So in that, either it is a 64-bit or 32-bit, we have to choose it. So just download it. So then unzip it, then click the shortcut, it will open. So before that, you have to make sure in your machine Java should work, Java should be installed, that is more than 1.7 version or equal to 1.7 version. So that's the way to open the Anypoint Studio. Okay, now it will come like this. So it's kind of similar to Eclipse only. Whatever the shortcuts in the Eclipse, so all the shortcuts here it will work. Okay, you can use shortcuts also here. So some more extra shortcuts for this Anypoint Studio. So what they did exactly, so they took the basic version from the Eclipse is a freeware, right? So anybody can top of that, we can implement, nobody question you. My Eclipse is a enterprise edition, we need to buy it, but whereas an Eclipse is a freeware, so I can also take the basic version, then on top of that, Eclipse, I can able to build one layer, then I can use it actually like that. So they took the Eclipse one, basic as Eclipse. On top of that, they will implement whatever they need. So for the Anypoint Studio, for the MuleSoft, so they implemented. So that is nothing but Anypoint Studio. So next one is here. If you see here, here is a debug mode is there. So when I'll go for debug, so as a developer, so we have to run keep on developing in a debug mode. So that's a better way. Why? Because so wherever the in the flow, it's a data is moving like a step by step actually. That time, if you're running in a debug mode, you can easily check it actually what was happening, what was the expected data is coming or else something else is coming. We can able to check it if you're running in a debug mode. So it's better to run always in a debug mode as a developer. So that's the one thing. Next one is if you click it, so it in Anypoint Studio the perspective becomes changed actually. So what we call this each and every part in the Eclipse terminology or else meals of terminology, we can call it as a perspective. If you click it as a meal design, it will display like this. If you click as a mule debug, so it will change the perspective actually. Perspective, and below one is see this, we can use munit also. Coming to munit is nothing but a test cases creation action. So some of the clients will ask test cases creation also. Why I'm saying, so listen carefully, why I'm saying this immunity is most important in this here. So sometimes, so I can't able to see the output. Okay, so why? Because client won't give any server access because it's a financial application, think like this. So payment related, so you are implementing service, it's related to payment. Okay, so but the client won't accept to give the permission to access their servers, the MMC servers access they won't give. So that time how will check it? So anyway, in your local you can able to check it, right? You can able to deploy it, you can able to check it. Think like this. Yesterday we discussed about IntelliJ tool. So there is a other IDE called there is a IntelliJ. In the IntelliJ, we can't able to deploy the application in the Jetty server. I told you yesterday. So internally, this Anypoint Studio will come up with. So there is a Jetty server. It's a lightweight server. So that will come by default. No need to add any plugin. So but whereas in other tool like IntelliJ, so we won't get any plugin. Okay, so that time how will deploy our application? We can't to deploy, right? So that time what we'll do, so you have to test your functionality is working or not. Make sure it should work the functionality, because we can't able to deploy it, we can't able to deploy it and see it actually. So that's why we have to write unit test cases or else JUnit test cases also we have to write it. So what will write it? So whatever the flow it is, we have to test it. Is it working or not? Further, we need to mock the data. We need to mock the data means we need to sample data. We have to pass it. So we have to we have to get whatever the end results is coming. Is it expected result or not? We have to test in the M unit. So guys, you are clear. So about M unit until now, whatever I was saying.
Yes, in fact, actually, so when we using a payment like so what is an security steps we are taking actually? We are including any certificates in that actually.
Yes, exactly. I will show you that one also. So actually here, if you see the HTTP, this is an inbound connector. I will tell you inbound connector and outbound connector differences. So actually here, this is the inbound connector. Inbound connector won't have. Coming to security point of view, I just drag and drop that HTTP. Here if you see, that should be there actually. So in the advanced variables, oh sorry, in general, if you click here, if you click plus in the configuration itself, there is a TLS SSL is there actually.
So yeah,
Here we have to add it actually. So whatever the TLS configuration, right, SSL configuration, so we have to add all these things here. So if it is a TLS, TSSL related thing, right? Secure sign on, we can say, right? HTTPS. Okay. So we have to fill all these things. Another way is there is authentication, basic authentication also there. Different types of authentication actually. Auth to authentication, auth digest basic. Generally, people will prefer either basic authentication or else auth to authentication. So basic authentication, in the basic authentication, it will ask only user ID password.
Okay.
Means here, means if you keep it, who is speaking? Rahul.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tulsi actually here, anyway, he was asking about that question. I just drag and drop here. If you see here, both are HTTP connectors only. Here HTTP connector and here HTTP
Hmm.
connector. If you drag and drop this dotted line, left side of this dotted line, it will act as an inbound connector. If you drag and drop after the dotted line, it will act as an outbound connector. So what is the difference between inbound connector and outbound connector? Inbound connector means, so generally how it will happen, I'm trying to expose a endpoint URL, right? So this is a REST call, whatever you are going to implement. It's nothing but a REST call. So this REST call, we have to give to the URL to the consumer. When you hit the consumer based on that URL, the request come to the inbound connector. You are clear? So the request come to the inbound connector based on the whatever you are providing the URL itself. So based on that, request will come to the inbound connector. So coming to outbound connector, when I will go for outbound connector, I want to consume other services. I want to consume other services. That time we'll go for, so that time we'll go for this
Okay.
HTTP outbound connector. Suppose I want to consume other services like any other service. So they already expose as a REST, not it as a SOAP. SOAP is different connector is there. REST is different connector is there. So if the expose as a REST service, we have to use HTTP outbound connector. Is it clear? That is the difference
Okay.
between inbound and outbound, particular to HTTP actually. Okay.
Can
So
you
yeah, tell
please
me.
explain once again? Inbound. Inbound once again.
Yeah, this is the inbound connector. So inbound connector means, so see, we are in this case we are creating a REST calls, right? We are creating a REST call. We are exposing we are publishing a endpoint URL, right? So when you drag and drop in the flow, when you drag and drop left side of these dotted lines, it's nothing but a source, you can say. In the source, whatever the components we can drag and drop, it's nothing but an inbound connector. We have so many inbound connectors. One of them is HTTP as an inbound connector. If you see here, request is there, response is there. It's kind of a synchronous call actually. Once get the request from the consumer, we have to process it in the mule, then we have to respond back as a service, means back as a response. With response we have to respond back. So see, this is nothing but a flow actually. Flow is nothing but a combination of message process. Here is HTTP is one message processor, set payload is one message proper, object to string. I will tell you when why, what is meant by set payload, what is meant by object to string, all, but all are coming in a coming in a one theme actually. So that is nothing but a message process. So internally this arrow is represents direction of that, how it will move. But internally how the message is flows, internally there is a SADA driven architecture. It will follows the SADA driven architecture. So based on that event driven architecture, once data is coming to the particular connector, it automatically push to the next component, next message process. So that's why MuleSoft follows the SADA event driven architecture. So coming to your question, so this is the inbound connector. In this, so many options are there. Earlier in 3.5 version, these many options are not there. After 3.6 onwards, they introduced there's a new connector HTTP. Okay, in this, so many options are there. I will give you one by one. So once you drag and drop the HTTP connector, first we have to configure the port and address and all, actually configure the information. See here, this is the name of that, whatever the name you feel you can give it, so that will display on the component itself.
So in this,
Yeah, tell
Venkat,
me. Yeah, tell me.
so in the inbound, we are now, we are continuing, we are taught inbound. So we are going to learn another type. Yes, am I right?
Rahul, can you repeat your question? Actually, I can't able to hear you properly. Your voice is a bit breaking. Yeah, can you repeat your
Yes,
question?
yes. Yeah. This inbound is nothing but we are no, we are giving our URL to other parties. I mean, other third party. Am I right?
Yes.
Inbound means.
We can't say we are giving to a URL to other parties. So sometimes what happen, there is a self also will come actually. So there is here in this case, yes, here in this case, yes, there is a user interaction, but there is a other inbound connectors are there. Like there is a AMQP. There is a connector called AMQP. In this, if you drag and drop as a inbound connector, okay, if you drag and drop as an inbound connector, see this is nothing but an inbound connector, but in this case there is no user interaction actually, no need to hit it actually. So this is a queuing mechanism component. When you subscribe a queue, right, automatically pull the message from the queue actually. There is no manual interaction, there is no URL also. You are getting my point. So this is also inbound connector.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is one more thing also there. There is a polar is there. So this is when it will happen, when it will trigger actually. Whenever the message is available in the queuing mechanism, then automatically it will trigger it actually. It will fire it, it will pull the message from the queuing mechanism. Okay, but if you don't want, you are setting some polling mechanism. So based on the polling mechanism, it should fire and it should pick the data. That time what happened, we have to set the polling mechanism. We have to set the polling mechanism. In the polling mechanism, we have to give it action. This time what happened, according to your polling, you are giving certain time to the polling. Frequency is 1000 milliseconds. Every 1000 milliseconds it will trigger it, it will get the response. So then it will send back actually. Next 1000 milliseconds again it will trigger actually. This is the way it will happen. Coming to your question, we can't say like that actually. In this HTTP connector case, we can say, so we are giving the URL. So based on the URL, user will hit it. User means consumer will hit it. Here we are exposing a REST call actually. So this URL will share to a client. So he can able to consume based on this address actually. If you click this, see, this is a local host. We are working on a local host. That's why I kept it as a local host. Generally, how it will come? We have to give a remote address here. We have to give us some static IP address, right? Or else some domain will create it. So then that domain or else static IP you have to give it here. So next one is port number. Either if it is a HTTP or HTTPS, we have to choose it in this case. If it is a HTTPS, by default 443 is the port number. If it is a HTTP, then we have to give particular port number. So port number means actually when you install MMC, Meal Management Console, or else any server like JBoss or else Tomcat. So each and every Tomcat instance or each and every mule management console instance running with a particular port number. So that port number we have to give it actually. While installing time, we provided that particular port number, right? 8081, 8082, like that we have to give each and every instance we have to give particular port number. So we can, when you keep it a port number with host name, directly that will trigger actually that particular server will we can able to interact directly. Okay, so if you choose a HTTPS, so there is a we have to fill these details. Okay, either default TLS or else these information provided by the client. So then you have to fill it. Means client means um, if you want to do your service as a HTTPS, so then that time you have to create a certificate, then you have to create authentication information, whole information, JK store. If you are aware of the terminology called JK store, you have to create the JK store, you have to generate a client. Okay, sorry, you have to generate a certification based on the command prompt itself. Okay, in this certification also there are two types actually, self-signed certificate and other certificate. If it is a self-signed certificate, then it will if you share that self-signed certificate, it will work anywhere. If it is a normal genuine certificate, so that certificate we have to share to the client, from the client end and this end, the certificate should be matched actually. That time only he can able to communicate our service, otherwise he can't able to communicate. So hope you guys are clear. So Rahul, am I answering your question? Still you have any question? Rahul, Tulsi, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, your voice is not clear actually, so we can't hear you. Voice is breaking. So
Oh,
maybe Sai are facing an issue actually. Hello, hello. Hello, Venkat, can you hear me?
guys, can you hear me now properly?
Yes.
Okay. Rahul, am I answered your question or else you have any question still?
Yes, yes. So I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, like HTTP is be a provider and consumer. Am I right?
yes, yes.
Fine, I got you.
Venkat, I am having a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, See, what about the asynchronous process? If you want to implement the asynchronous process,
Yeah.
as
As
you were saying, once you drag the HTTP endpoint,
hmm,
it will
hmm,
come to the response
hmm,
available.
hmm.
I don't want response.
Yes.
Uh, Now, what about asynchronous process? How to
Yeah.
implement
So
that?
if you don't want I mean you don't want to wait for response, then keep it as a asynchronous flow actually. There is a async is a option actually. Async is the one message processor here. See this, whatever, suppose my requirement is I want to insert some audit
Sorry,
logs.
Venkat, we
Sorry.
can't hear your voice is breaking.
Oh, is it? Tulsi, can you hear me properly? Tulsi, for you also same thing. Can you hear me? Or else my voice is getting break.
Your voice is breaking, Venkat.
Oh, is
The
it?
voice is breaking actually.
We can't hear properly.
Mm,
The voice is breaking. No, it will not continue. And the internet issue, I think. I think so.
is it fine now?
Better. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, Tulsi, what I'm saying here, there is a scenario. There is a scenario for asynchronous. So suppose when you implement a flow, once that is done, end of the flow, I want to insert a audit logs. Okay, but I don't want to wait for the insertion in inserting the database, then come back the response. I don't want any response. I just hit it and I will forget it actually. Insert or not, I won't bother about it actually. So, but parallelly, I have to give the response to the user. Okay, and parallelly I have to insert the audit logs also. So in this case, we'll go for that this type of asynchronous flow. So this time what happened? Suppose here we got the request from this, then it will insert the database as well as it will give the response back actually, response back to the user. So coming to your question, this is asynchronous flow. When you keep it asynchronous flow, you don't want to wait for the response actually. You just hit it and forget it actually.
Okay.
That is the thing. So you have any other question? You're clear.
Venkat, is there any difference?
Then what about synchronous Venkatman? So we need to wait for the reply now.
Yes, we should. We should. Until unless we can't do anything.
Yes, yes. We need to wait for reply actually. So we need to wait. If the service fails, so what will happen actually? What error will be getting actually?
What service will fail? Either it's a target system or else our mule flow.
Yeah, target system. Suppose
Targets, yeah.
unavailable server.
Yeah. So based on the target system availability, actually next step is we have to write the exception handling part, right? In the exception
Yeah.
handling, based on the status code. So when you hit a target system, they will return some status code actually, whatever the status code they return, right? Suppose if the server got down, so then we'll get some internal server issue, right? 500 issue, server issue, 501, 502, like that we'll get it, right? So based on that status code, we'll redirect to the exception strategy, okay now, exception handling. In the exception handling, we'll prepare a custom exception, right? Proper exception we have to prepare it. We have to send back to the client boss. So this is the server got down, this is the issue. Once it will up, you can able to communicate that type of message, client understandable message or else user understandable message. You have to prepare it, you have to send back it if the service is down. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it actually. Where we are coming back, to this. Okay, So yeah, we are discussing this inbound endpoint. So here some more options are there. I will explain these options also. Here some headers are there actually. See this. Uh, Sometimes actually, you know that HTTP response codes, right? HTTP codes, right? These codes you are aware that, right?
Yeah,
So
yes, both.
HTTP means, yeah, HTTP means it's a hypertext transfer protocol, right? If you want to communicate in the browser, so then you should use that HTTP, right? So when you are trying to use HTTP protocol, so then there are different types of methods actually while going when you use this HTTP protocol. So these are the types of methods actually. Frequently used methods are, one is get, get. Next one is post, put, delete. These are frequently used methods actually. So what was the difference between get and post, delete and put? So get is nothing but we are just trying to get the information from the server. We are just trying to get the information. But whereas in post, so you are hitting some data to server. So in case of get, we are just retrieving the message from the server, or else retrieving the message from the whatever the third party, that is we are trying to retrieve it, right? So but whereas in post, so you are hitting some data to the server. You are giving some data to the server. So that is nothing but that. When I choose a post, we have to provide the body. When you choose a get, so they're not required to provide any body actually. So what is the difference between get and post? So the major difference is, if you are aware of web applications in Java, so in this case, that URL length is there now. So in case of get, it allow the URL length only up to 256 character actually. But whereas in post there is no restriction. We can give any number of data, and we can give lengthwise. There is no restriction. But whereas in get there is a restriction up to 256 character only. Your URL should be there. Next one is put. So coming to put operation, you are going to some update some information that the record is already there. You are going to update it. Suppose yesterday we discussed about Salesforce object opportunity creation and all. You are creating an opportunity, then you will get a response back as a some unique ID, opportunity ID will get it. So again, user wants to update that opportunity. So he created opportunity, he want to buy some products. So then he create the opportunity. Then he got the response back, some unique ID. Boss, you already created the opportunity. So this is the unique ID. So next further communication, you can use this unique ID. We'll get a response as like that. So next time I want to update that existing opportunity, so that time we'll go for put operation. So next one is delete. I don't want to continue. I don't want that opportunity. I want to delete it. Then you can able to delete it based on that unique ID. So these are the frequently operations we'll use it while using a HTTP protocol. Okay, so coming to this here, I was telling about these headers actually. Add headers. There is an option called add headers. Okay, add headers means when you use a post method, we'll get a options like headers. You want to pass the data in headers, you can add the header actually. If you click it, you can add key value paste kind of thing. Key then value, key then value. Like that we can add multiple headers. You are clear? So actually this is a tool, third party plugin for Google Chrome actually. We just add the Chrome this plugin only for REST clients. Only REST kind of applications we can check it. So see here how to add this plugin. This is a Postman client. Just Google it. Uh, Postman client for Chrome. Okay. So just you can add it extension. Okay. So then automatically it will come into the under apps, Chrome apps. If you double click on it, this will open actually. This is exclusively for REST clients checking actually. Just actually we are in the middleware, right? Generally how the request will come to us from some GUI, some portal, or else somebody will trigger it, right? Somebody clients will trigger it, but we can't wait for them actually. So we have to check our service is working or not properly using this type of tools, either Chrome plugin or else Mozilla plugin also there. Using these plugins we can able to check it actually our service is working as we expected or not. So we can check it using this Postman client. Okay. Guys, you are clear? I'm saying so many things. Just if you are not aware, just let me know. If you are not clear, just let me know. I will once again I will tell you that one. So this is the most important plugin, this one. So while testing time, right? While testing time, your service is working or not, you have to check based on this Postman client. Okay.
From my side is okay. I know actually.
Yeah, Rahul. Okay. Tulsi, you are clear, right? If you are not clear anywhere, just let me know. That I will press it and I will tell you. I will highlight it actually. So this is an important thing actually. When if you want to test if a service is working or not, if it is a exclusively for REST client actually REST. Once you expose it as an endpoint URL, if you want to test it, we have to add this plugin. If it is a SOAP case, is different actually. SOAP case, there is another tool called SOAP UI. This is a SOAP UI. Previously that is a REST. This is a SOAP UI. If you want to test SOAP UI, there is another tool called SOAP UI. So you have to install the SOAP UI. So then you have to test it actually. Clear? So what I'm trying to say here, so there is a different types of methods here. Based on our requirement, we have to choose particular method type. I want to just get information from the server. I don't want to hit any information to server. That time we'll go for get. That too, one more thing here, people always prefer post actually. Why? Because now we are implementing a service, but we are not sure in future some more parameters will get, or else we're not sure some after a few days we are going to hit data to server also, right? That's why people prefer post. That's based on your architect actually, architect suggestion. If he suggests get only, how to go for get, but generally people will prefer post. So based on the future thinking actually, that's the thing. Okay. Okay, here you are clear, right? What is the use of this header? So we have to add a header, then we have to hit accordingly. Okay, so next one is coming to here. This is a configuration, remote address, either HTTP or HTTPS. You can choose it, then give some port number. Next one is a base path. So base path here, if you see any URL, this is nothing but a URL. This is a URL, right? Up to here, this is what? This is a domain, right? Guys, you are clear. This is a domain. Up to here, this is a domain. Next one is, this is either HTTP or HTTPS. This is a protocol. Next one, this is a what? This is a host address, right? Next one, if you see here, rest slash v1, rest slash v1. This whole thing is a context path, you can say, right? This whole thing is a context path. So in this here base path is there, and again here one more path is there. If you see here is the base path, and again this base path. You can keep it whole thing in the base path. You can keep it a whole thing in the base path. Here we can keep it. Okay, or else you can split it. Up to rest slash v1. Up to rest slash v1. You can keep it in a base path here. Next one is remaining content. That commerce documentation Oracle, something like this. We have to keep it in a normal path actually, slash followed by normal path. Or else if you keep it whole thing in the whole thing in the here itself base path. Here just we have to give anything here, either slash or else just we can mention as a star also. You can give like this or else just leave it like this with slash. So you are clear path and base path difference?
In the both are same actually.
Yes.
The path and base path are both are same. Where either we can implement in the inside the connector configuration or in the basic setting.
Yes, but how people will prefer whatever the frequently if you see this URL, this will change, right? This will change, this part will change, but remaining whatever starting
Yes.
part, it's a fixed actually, it won't change most of the times, right? That URL mostly it won't change, URL won't change, then most ofly this path also won't change. Remaining whatever the last path, right, that might be changed. Whatever you are thinking it will change, you just keep it as a path here, keep it as a path, and that too it should come as a
Must
dynamically.
be.
Yeah, it should come as a dynamically, we don't hard code it actually. We'll see in future how to do dynamic actually. For that we have to create a external properties file, you have to keep it there, then you have to retrieve it dynamically using mule expression language. We'll see later. So might be Tulsi will get bit confusing all these things. Tulsi, you are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, simple, Tulsi. Actually, here, based on the URL, right? Based on the URL, we are trying to split it actually. What is the protocol? Then what is the host address of this? What is the base path?
Okay, sir.
Then what is the remaining path? We are trying to split it. We are trying to keep it into the HTTP listener configuration. You are clear, right? How to split it? So what content you have to keep it in a base path? What content you have to keep it in a path? Okay, so there is no mandatory to keep it here is the off, and then path is the off and base path is the off of the thing. It's based on you actually, based on your implementation, based on your way of writing the coding style, that you can keep it. But if you keep it all these things base path, you have to give either slash or star in the base path. If you give empty, it will give left and right, actually it will give some error. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, next one is here coming to response settings. Here we can give failure response code actually. If it is anything is fail, then you can keep it something like hard coded 400 bad request kind of thing, you have to keep it here. Okay, there is a status code here, also status code, and then here is the headers. That's it. So any other thing in this?
No, that's it.
SSL is nothing but if you want to provide HTTPS, then you have to we'll discuss that feature actually. We have to create a client actually, self sign authentication authorization certificate. We have to create it, we have to create a JK store, you have to do all these things. Okay, that's it about HTTP connector. HTTP connector, both way you can use, either it's a inbound connector, either it's a outbound connector. When you go for inbound connector, you are trying to publish a endpoint URL as a REST URL, so then that time we'll go for HTTP component. Next one is outbound. So when we'll go for outbound connector as a HTTP, so then somebody will expose a service, that REST service, I want to consume it as a middleware guy, you want to communicate, so then that time we'll go for HTTP connector. So not only REST calls actually, sometimes um, like Salesforce. So generally Salesforce, for connecting Salesforce, we have a connector exclusively for Salesforce. There is a connector is there actually, but I don't want to use this. Some of the people, right? Some of the connectors here enterprise version only available. In community edition, it's not free actually. We need to buy it. Some of the connectors. So that time what happened, client will prefer, why don't you go for Java code, why don't you write a logic to connect the Salesforce. That time it will use us useful for us actually, that HTTP connector. So in place of that Salesforce connector. You are clear?
Yes.
In that, if I want to implement the SOAP service, for this HTTP endpoint will use it. Or the
Mm,
normal route.
no. So for SOAP there is a CXF is there. CXF is for it will internally use JAX WS. You know that JAX WS jar file, right? Third party jar file. So these are SOAP actually. For implementing SOAP, you have to use this CXF.
Okay, if I want to hit some URL that doesn't
SOAP.
use the HTTP,
No, no. If it is a SOAP, we have. That's what actually. That is the beauty of MuleSoft. For each and everything, they have connectors. So this is for publishing. This is for consuming. I will give you rest also HTTP. So this is for publishing. This is for publishing. This is for consuming. This is for publishing. This is for consuming. These two are soaps. These two are rest. Okay.
So Venkat,
Yeah.
how about tomorrow? Tomorrow, do you have any plan?
Mm, yeah. Saturday is there actually class, but Sunday won't be there. Based on you people can okay. I'm okay with that Saturday.
Actually,
Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, I have a matches actually. So I
Oh,
know I will
you are
not be able
following
to.
matches. Okay.
Yes.
Then
And
fine,
I
as
will
Orish.
play.
Okay. Then fine, actually. So we'll discuss only in weekends. Okay.
Yeah.
So today at least we'll see the Hello World program. Coming 2 days you can able to practice it. Okay, na? So this guy Tulasi will practice it. Anyway, you know the basics, right? So Tulasi.
Yes, I know all of that.
Yeah. So okay, we'll see. Tulsi, if I going bit fast or else if you're not clear, just let me know because this guy Rahul have some bit idea about this. That's why he was asking some next level questions. So if you're if you are feeling am I going bit fast or else you are not clear with basic, we are discussing some deep level thing, just let me know, we'll discuss the basic thing, then we'll go for the next level. I have to answer both the people, so basic level I have to tell for you, and then whatever he was asking the next level question I will tell you that answer. Okay. So first, yeah, thank you. So first, you are clear up to here, right? Anypoint studio setup and all, you are clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes people will face this problem. I will show you that one. When you install a Java and everything done, after any point studio open, just check it actually, window preferences. Okay, in these preferences there is a JRE runtime environment is there actually, execution environment option is there, install JRE's option is there, search for JRE here, install JRE, click here, you can see the version of that actually, what version of JRE you are using. Okay, here that location is there now, this location should be point to your JDK. By default it will give JRE. In the JRE the tools.jar is there now, the tools.jar is not available in that, so that's why we have to refer it the JDK 1.8.0, so in place of JRE. You are clear, right? That time what happened, whatever the classes you are using, that in the JDK the tools.jar is available, then we won't get any compilation issues actually. Otherwise we will get sometimes compilation issues. You are clear, right? You can see the console actually clearly error. The tools.jar is not available. Then can you show the path of tools.jar? Like that we'll get it actually. So that's why before that only I'm saying, so we'll face that kind of problems. So just open the click on the window, click on the preferences, next search for JRE, click on the install JRE. In the location, just show the where you install the JDK, the path. That's it. So you won't get any compilation issues if you keep it like this. Okay. This is the Anypoint Studio. You are clear almost all options I was explaining. Coming to here, any option is pending. This is a mail debugger, fine. Then problems, you know that. Console, mail properties, fine. This is a thing. Okay, so next one is we'll start to create the project. So how will create the project? Mail project, file, new, then mail project. Here option will get mail project. Just click on the mail project and give me some project name. I'm giving something like this, today demo. Okay, coming to here, runtime. So these are most important. Runtime, so 3.8.3 enterprise edition. So actually when you download that, when you download a latest version nowadays, so automatically this is coming mail server 3.8.3 enterprise edition. Okay, but in our case, in our old version, or else think like this is not available by default in earlier version, 3.5 and 3.4 like that. So this is not available actually. So that time what we need to do, we need to add a server. We need to add a server. So how to add that server? So here is the option, help, install new softwares, install new softwares. So then here you can search for that actually. Choose all available websites. Choose all available websites. So then search for server. Search for server. It will display list of servers. What are the servers are available? The list of servers it will available. It will fetch it actually. Okay, here you can see it actually fetching children of categories. Here in this, it will show a list of servers. You can choose what server you want to use it. By default, that 3.8.3 come nowadays. See this is coming, but I don't want to latest version. I want to go bit front version. Then you can choose it actually. Community edition, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8. Also community edition is there. 3.4.0 because this is this laptop is my office mission. My client will already buy that, already subscribe that enterprise edition. I choose that enterprise edition, but if you don't want that enterprise edition, then you can choose community edition. So when you choose and install it, it will ask the agree terms and conditions. Then click next. It will install it. We have to restart your Anypoint Studio also. So then that time what happened? So once you restart that Anypoint Studio, that will appear here. Multiple servers also it will appear here. So already I have a 3.8.3. I want one more server. Then you can add it actually. While creating a project, you have to choose that server. So either 3.7 you want, 3.6 you want. You can choose it. You can click next. Okay, I'm not choosing anything as of now. We will discuss all these options later. As of now, standard whatever standard way, I'm not choosing any option. I just give as a default thing. Click next. Here it will show default location and then your Java version. all these things it will show you. Click next, then finish. Observe here. So this is the project actually. Today's demo. Today demo is the project name. If you see here, see the structure of the project. What are the things it was generating? SRC main app. Next one is API, Java, resources, visitor, Java. These are all packages got generated actually. If you see, clearly segregate that. So Java classes it will keep it into separate. Flows it will keep it into separate. Next test classes will keep it into separate. Any minute test cases if you are writing that, keep it into separate like that. It will segregate proper structure. It was segregating to your project. Okay, so one by one we'll discuss in the app. In the app, what will keep it, all the flows actually, all the flows whatever you are going to implement, that flows you have to keep it. So now it's default, it will generate today's demo .xml. If you want to create one more, right click on this, then choose configuration file, right click on this, new, then mule configuration file. So you can create a new configuration file like this, new .xml file. That is a way to create it actually. Next one is next one is API. API. Coming to API, while implementing API services in the MuleSoft, we'll use RAML actually. RAML, RAML. There is other technology RAML. In the RAML schemas, we'll discuss these things, whole stuff later. So that RAML stuff, that schema related thing, that examples thing, whole stuff, we have to keep it into a API package. Next one is third one is SRC main Java. In the SRC main Java, we can keep it a Java classes. Whatever the Java classes we are going to use in our flow, we have to keep under Java folder. So next one is resources. Resources. In the resources, it's kind of an environment specific actually. Suppose we have a multiple environments, right? Dev environment, test, stage, production, like that. We have so many environments, right? So we have to keep it a properties. Just we'll create an external properties file, then you have to mention all these things into a properties file. So that's environment specific actually. Suppose there is a URL, remote URL. So in the dev is different, stage is different, and then production is different. That type of information you have to keep it into a external file. That external file, dev.properties, test.properties, stage.properties, all the external properties file, we have to keep it into a resource. So not only that properties file, whatever the content you are using, suppose some sample data, some XML you are using, some visual you are using, something else, some sample files you are using, we have to keep it under resources only. You got clear, right? So resources. Next one is visual. So if there is any visual, we can keep it in a resource, or else we can keep it in a visual separate package also. So next one is src test slash java. This is also similar like top of that only. Src main java will keep it a original class files. So next one is this a test class files, right? If you write any JS for your flow is working or not properly as we expected, so we'll mock the data actually using these test cases, unit test cases. You can keep it under src test.java, test slash java. Next one is munit. If you write any munit test cases, you have to keep it under munit. Next, resources, it's similar like a resources only, but test case related resources, if any there, then you have to keep it under SRC test resources. Next, coming to this JRE library, next Mules server 3.8.3. Next, this is a target folder. Automatically, when you compile it, automatically delete it, it will keep on generating. Next one is mule project.xml. This is a XML here. Here we have to give environment specific actually. We'll discuss that environment specific. We have to pass here actually environment specific variables. So that is the structure of your mail project. So any questions in this? Any folder? So tell me.
Where we can keep the SSD?
XSD also under WSDL or else under main resources. You can keep it under resources, or else you can keep it SRC main WSDL also you can keep it. So generally you can keep it all these things under resources only by, because your project will know that path, it will pick it up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now clear. Actually, already 7:45. Today we'll finish this class. So next session we'll create a hello world samples and all. We'll start basic flows. Then we'll discuss. We'll explain the flows difference also. Private flow, plug, public flow, main flow difference also. We'll explain. We'll see next session. Okay, now. So
Just
and yeah, tell me.
one thing.
Tell me.
Can you please share this video because now only because we have a time now. Let's see once again because
Now only
after
No, now only I'm sharing now. After reach office, in the office network is bit fast actually. If I'm trying to upload it, it will take some time actually. That's why once reach office, I was sharing before 11 only, right? Yesterday I was sharing before 11 o'clock, I guess.
yes yes
Hmm.
but once we went to office we
Oh,
were
okay,
late
okay,
right there
okay.
we
See,
unable to
yeah, who is speaking, Rahul or
Tulsi
Tulsi?
Tulsi
Tulsi, no?
yes
Guys, what happened here? These are go-to meeting, right? Once you close this, once you terminate this meeting, it should convert into MP3 format actually, MP4 format. That will take time.
okay
That will take time. It's not work. So as it is, then now itself I can able to upload. For conversion, it will take around 10 to 15 minutes actually. Once that is done, I will close my laptop. Once reach office, I will try to upload it actually. Because here, whatever you are taking bandwidth now, that is only for downloading speed. It's not uploading speed. We are taking 1 Mbps or else 2 Mbps. It's a downloading, right? It's not uploading, right? Uploading is, it will take some time actually, not much time. But anyway, if you want, I will try to upload now itself, because means I have to get ready for office timing. Then now itself I directly close the laptop, I'll keep it into bag, then I will go office, then will open it, then it will convert the video first, then I will share you. That thing happened actually. But if you want to, yes, if you want, then I will do it now itself. Okay, once conversion happened, I will try to upload it, I will share you. Okay, now?
no problem
Yeah,
okay
ठीक है.
I will
ठीक है. Once done, then I will ping you on WhatsApp once sharing happened.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, guys. We'll meet on Monday then. Okay. Okay. Take care. Bye.